If you can avoid these mistakes we're about to cover, you'll be out of the skinny fat phase in no time. Welcome back everyone, hope all of you are doing well. In this video we're going to cover 5 of the biggest mistakes that I see and that I have personally been through that will keep you stuck in that skinny fat phase of your fitness journey. Now you may be making all of these mistakes or you may just be making 1 or 2 of these mistakes, but either way it's best to know all of them so that you can be sure to avoid them. With that being said, let's get into it. So mistake number 1 that is keeping you skinny fat is that you are simply not eating enough calories. Now that sounds a little counterintuitive because when we're skinny fat, we tend to be afraid of eating too much already because we already have that stubborn body fat that's hanging around. And typically when you eat more, that just leads to even more fat gain. So eating more just doesn't make much sense, right? Well, here's the thing, and this is where most people mess up. You want to lose that stubborn fat, but you don't really need to lose any more weight because you're already skinny in other areas of your body. Losing weight would just cause you to become even skinnier. So if eating more tends to lead to fat gain, how will eating more calories help you burn that stubborn fat? When you're skinny fat, although you have that stubborn body fat hanging around, you also don't have very much muscle. So we need to change that. Along with following a structured training plan. Along with following a structured training plan, when you begin eating more calories, you start to give your body the fuel it needs to actually build muscle. As you increase your lean muscle mass, your BMR will also raise. Think of it like your metabolism raising. This in turn increases the amount of calories that your body needs each day, which forces your body to burn that fat for energy. So when you build muscle, you're setting yourself up to burn fat as well. Pretty cool, right? Now if you're wondering how this happens, it's because muscle is a highly metabolic tissue, meaning it requires a lot of energy to stay on your body and grow and repair itself from your workouts. Building muscle is a very energy intensive process. If you're not eating enough calories each day, it will be very hard for you to build muscle. Now I'm not saying to go into bulk mode and start eating everything inside. This will cause fat gain. A slight increase of 100 to 200 calories is all that's needed to get started. Then you can make adjustments over time. Okay, so moving on to mistake number 2 that you could be making is that you are not eating enough protein. In order to build that muscle that we just talked about, you have to be feeding it enough protein each day. Protein is needed to help repair your muscle tissue after your workouts so that it can grow, become stronger, and stay on your body. If you're not eating enough protein each day, you're kind of spinning your wheels in the gym. Now some people get a little obsessed with how much protein they're eating and they think if they're not eating over 200 grams of protein a day that they're not going to grow, but that's not true. Use this simple formula to calculate your daily protein needs. 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of your current body weight. This is going to give you a range. As long as your daily protein intake falls within that range, you're eating plenty enough protein to build and maintain your lean muscle tissue. If you're wondering why there's a range, it's because there's simply not a number out there that's 100% how much protein you need to eat each day. There's been various studies done from very low ranges to very high ranges of protein, and from my research and from what I've gathered, staying within this range is plenty enough protein for you. Mistake number 3 is that you are not lifting weights in your workouts. You can eat the perfect amount of calories and protein, but if you're not lifting weights in your workouts, you're not going to build very much muscle, which means you're also not going to lose very much fat. In order for your muscles to grow and stay on your body, you have to apply a greater stimulus to them each time you work out. In other words, you have to be able to lift a heavier load, apply a greater resistance, and aim to get stronger and stronger with each workout. You may be thinking, can I just do that with any type of workout? Up to a certain point you can, but in order to build the most amount of muscle possible, you need to be performing your exercises within a 6 to 12 rep range with a weight or resistance that is challenging. So for instance, if you're doing an exercise and you're aiming to get 12 reps and you actually end up getting 20, that's a little too easy and you need to add a little bit more weight or resistance to it. Rep number 12 should be a little bit of a grind to complete. This is what research has shown to be the most optimal for hypertrophy, aka muscle growth. If you're just doing workouts at home, initially they may be challenging, but eventually you're going to be able to do more than 6 to 12 push-ups or 6 to 12 bodyweight squats. You're going to have to figure out a way to add more weight or resistance to those exercises. And even then, you can only get so creative with a weighted vest or a backpack or whatever you come up with, and the amount of resistance that you can add becomes limited. Yes, you can buy dumbbells and a few other things, but eventually you'll become stronger than those as well. The best thing to do if you have the option is to get a gym membership and start lifting weights there where you have plenty of weights and machines and the potential to get stronger each week. This leads me to mistake number 4, which is you're not implementing progressive overload in your workouts. It's not enough to just go to the gym and lift weights. That's not going to cut it. You need to be following a structured, why can't I say that? You need to be following a structured training plan where you're able to implement progressive overload each week. What in the world does that even mean? Progressive overload in very broad, simple terms is kind of like a fancy way of saying that you need to be getting stronger each week. As I mentioned previously, in order for your muscles to grow, you have to apply a greater stimulus to them each time you work out. You can't go into the gym each week and do the same exercises for the same amount of sets and reps with the same weight and the same intensity and expect to see much change. You have to push yourself each and every workout. No one's going to come with you and count every rep that you do. You have to want it. For every workout you do, you should aim to get one more rep. Lift a little bit more weight. Train a little bit harder than you did the workout before. You have to strive to be better each day than you were the day before. So how can you beat the last workout you did? There's a few different ways that you can implement progressive overload in your workouts. Lifting heavier weights. Let's say week 1 I did barbell squats for 6 reps at 135 pounds. And then week 3 I come in and I do barbell squats for 6 reps at 225 pounds. I'm getting stronger. Another way that you can implement progressive overload in your workouts is by lifting the same amount of weight for more reps. For example, in week 1, let's say I do a dumbbell bench press with 70 pounds for 8 reps, and then week 2, I do a dumbbell bench press with 70 pounds for 10 reps. I'm getting stronger. And lastly, another way that you can implement progressive overload in your workouts is by lifting the same amount of weight for the same reps, but with improved form. Let's say I do a dumbbell shoulder press with 45 pounds and I get 6 reps, but it's kind of sloppy and I don't really have much control over it, and the last rep is very hard to get. Then the next week, I do the same exercise for the same weight and the same reps, but I've much improved on my form. I can control it a lot better, and I got that last rep a little bit easier than I did the previous week. I'm getting stronger. Do you see a pattern here? Progressive overload. Get stronger. Got it? Hey, what's going on everyone? I just wanted to pop in really quick and let you know that I decided to delay uploading this video a couple of days so I could go ahead and create a free video training for you guys. This training is going to show you the 5 steps that I personally use to finally get out of the skinny fat phase. I know I wish someone would have created something like this for me when I was feeling stuck. It definitely would have saved me a lot of wasted time and energy and got me to where I wanted to be in a few months compared to the few years that it's taken me to figure everything out. In this free training, we deep dive into exactly what you need to do step by step to get from skinny fat to fit. So if you want to go download that, again, it's free. I'll put the link in the description below. Mistake number 5 is a bit of a mindset shift, and it is that you're focusing too much on losing fat rather than building muscle. If you're constantly looking in the mirror at your stomach hoping you have a six-pack, or you're always weighing yourself and getting frustrated if your weight hasn't changed, or maybe it even went up a little bit, you're going to drive yourself nuts and become mentally drained. Weighing yourself when you're skinny fat is pretty much pointless. You see, once you start fueling your body with enough food, you're lifting weights and implementing progressive overload in your workouts, you're going to experience something known as body recomposition. This means you're going to be building muscle and losing fat at the same time. When this is happening, your weight is not going to change that much. It's almost like your muscle is replacing the fat that's on your body, so your weight's going to kind of stay around the same. Can it still fluctuate? Absolutely. There's a ton of factors that can make your weight go up one day and then down the next. How much water you consume, different foods have different amount of water weights in them, how much salt you consume can affect your body weight, how active you are, how much you sweat, your fiber intake. There's a ton of different factors. The list goes on and on. Don't try to control these things, and don't stress about weighing yourself or what the scale says. It's not telling you how much fat you've lost or how much muscle you've gained. It's just a number. Use progress pictures and how you feel mentally and physically to measure your progress. If you've made it this far and you're like, I'm not really making any of these mistakes, then my little bonus tip for you is to be patient. Building muscle and losing fat takes time. Stop getting frustrated because you've hit your calories and macros and you've had a couple of good workouts over the past 2 days, but you still don't have abs. You have to give your body time to change. It will happen if you just have patience and stay consistent. If you're feeling stuck in the skinny fat phase and still kind of confused, I'm uploading new videos each week that will help you get out of it, so be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss those. If you have any questions about skinny fat or about the mistakes that we went over today, be sure to comment those down below. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. I appreciate all of you. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.